All right, so now that you took delivery of your Koken barber chair, there's a few things you want to do when you first get it. Now, all of your chairs are going to be shipped out and they're going to be individually graded. Obviously, just you're going to need some basic tools such as a Phillips screwdriver, and if you do have a prying tool, that'll be helpful. Once you actually get the chair unboxed, you're going to notice one thing, and it's going to be that it doesn't have any hydraulic fluid, so the chair is not going to pump up. Now, the hydraulic fluid, we ship it separately, and we do put it on top of the crate. And all you got to do is just funnel it inside. So what you're going to do, all Koken chairs, once you take off the seat, and they're literally just going to lift up, you're going to have one of two types of openings, right? So you're going to have one where you can just twist off this little cap, or you're going to have one where you literally just slide it to the side. But just funnel the hydraulic fluid and the one that's in the canister, and then just drop it inside there, or even with the water bottle, just pour it in there carefully. Once you're done, cap it back up, and you're gonna notice some of the Koken chairs, and flip it upside down, you're gonna see that it has these little wooden dowels, and those are gonna correspond with the holes that you see right there. So go ahead and place the hydraulic fluid and then put the seat back on. Now, normally I say place a hydraulic fluid on the chairs once you actually have them positioned inside of the barbershop. But if it's going to go inside of your home, then two things. Either A, I don't recommend you putting hydraulic fluid, because in the case that you do accidentally spill it, you don't want it to get it on your floor. But if you are actually going to use it in your home for actually, to actually cut hair or get your hair cut, then, once you position it, put the hydraulic fluid on. And for in-home use, I always recommend getting a, some kind of plastic cutout to put underneath the base. So just in case, the chair ever does leak, let's say you tilt it accidentally and it starts leaking, it doesn't actually ruin your floor or carpet or whatever. But yeah, that's about it. Now, once you're actually ready to move the chair from the crate into wherever you're going to position it, we always recommend using those little wooden dolly carts to transport a chair from point A to point B. It just makes everything easier. But again, to move the chair from the crate to the dolly or into position, one thing you want to do that's really important is make sure that the chair is all the way lowered, which it should come, once you actually receive it. And then two, lock the chair. Every single chair, unless it's a foot pump, any chair, any Koken chair, Theo Koch chair that does have a handle, just put the handle back. Don't be afraid to use some force. These things can take a beating. And that makes sure that the chair is locked. Once the chair is locked, make sure you get person B or get a helper to help you. Never, ever, ever, whenever you move the chair, never lift them from the handles. Never grab from here. You're just asking for trouble. Always, always, always only ever lift the chair from the frame. So on this type of Koken, for example, you'll get it from here. This type of Theo Koch, you'll get it from here. Or, this type of Koken, same thing. Always from here, never from the handles, because you're asking to break them. Once you position it into the car and into place, now it's really important on delivery that you check the screws. Why? Because during transportation, these chairs on an 18-wheeler, there's a lot of vibrations. Vibrations and threaded screws really don't mix well together. They're going to want to come a little bit loose. So I always suggest any exposed screw, and I'll use this chair for example. Any exposed screw that you see, such as the ones on the handles, just, grab a Phillips or a flathead screwdriver, depending on the type that it has. Just tighten it up by hand. Tighten these up. These usually have locking washers, but still, just give it a nice little turn just to make sure that they're nice and hand tight. These, when you do tighten these, just be very careful. Only hand tighten. Once you feel a little bit of pressure, that's it. Hand tighten these. But really, the main ones that tend to get loose that we've experienced over the years are these handle screws. These, they go here on the side. And then there's also going to be screws underneath. Let me take out the camera. There's going to be screws underneath here that go onto the wood. Those are the ones that generally get loose. Same thing, these have locking washers. Tighten these up every 6 months. tighten up these every 6 months. These, same thing, they go into wood every 6 months. So you just pretty want to do some basic maintenance on these chairs. So, check that upon delivery. But other than that, that's it. When it comes to using your Koken, I do have other videos on how to use the chairs, but I'll just demonstrate it real quick. To unlock the brake, push the handle forward, pump it up, push it all the way down, it'll pump down. To recline a Koken, they're all going to have very similar type of handles where you lift up the handle, you push the handle back, and then the chair will recline. Push the handle forward, and it'll lock it in place, and it'll make sure that the chair doesn't go anywhere. Once you're ready to position the chair back, lift up the handle, push this back, recline the chair, and move the handle back forward. And that's about it. Other than that, when you do use the chair, again, I did cover it in another video on operating these chairs. But really what's important on these chairs is when you pump up a chair, you're going to give it short, quick strokes. And that's going to make sure that the chair pumps up. Once you have the chair at the desired height, you never want to leave this handle in this downward position. And again, that's because the further the handle goes down, the valve that controls the flow of oil, it starts opening up ever so slightly. The further I have the handle downward, it's going to open more. I push the handle back up, it's going to close the valve. So once you actually have the chair pumped, always either A, lock the chair in place, or B, just push the handle back enough to where it makes sure that the seal closes. And that's about it. If you do have any questions regarding the chair, how to operate, how to service it, do your basic 6-month service, meaning just going through every single screw and tightening everything up. Again, any questions, give us a call or send us a text.